There's 13 different types of villagers in Minecraft that can trade you any type of items. So in this episode, I will make villager halls so that we get all the items like weapons, armor, food, and much more. And each type of villager is going to have their own place. It's going to be huge. Alright, first up, before we start anything, let's first plan out where it should be. I feel like it should probably be under the castle. Because if you didn't know, there's a whole bunch of empty space in here. So let's first make the entrance right here on the stairs. Oh, this would be so difficult. I am not good with redstone. There, now we're done with it. There's a few exposed parts, but at least it still works. First off, let's make a little hub for the entrance right here. Then we'll add some stairs here to give it a bit of depth. Then we'll add these smooth stone slabs to the rest of the roof. Next, we'll add the floor, because dirt does not look good at all. And we'll sort of make a circle of lots. And then, of course, we'll add some decorations. And now let's sit down and make the entrance to the villager hall. It needs to be really far down because this thing is going to be huge, so it needs a lot of space. And this should be deep enough. So now that we're done with that, let's then build the staircase. Now they've done the main stairs, let's now do the side railing. And there, now the stairs are finally finished. Next thing we'll do is a wall, and that should be pretty much it for the staircase. It looks pretty good, to be honest. And the last thing we need to do for the wall is add some water flowing down, because I know that's gonna look really good. So make a little crevice right here, and there, and now it's done. Put the glass in, and yeah, that looks pretty good. So now comes the hard part, mining the whole place out. This is going to take so long. It is going to be a circle that's huge, like 60 blocks across from side to side. We mine all this out, let's first make the perimeter of the circle. Now that we're done that, let's mine the rest of the circle. Ooh, this is going to take a while. So yeah, let's get to mining. Alright, now we just have a few hundred more blocks to mine, then we'll be done with most of this. We just have the floor and the ceiling to mine out. We're finally almost done. Okay, just need to mine these dirt blocks, and then we're done with this main part. Finally, man, this took way too long. But we still have to mine. But before that, let's get some diamonds. Since obviously I'm really low, and it'll make mining way faster. And because most of my armor is completely destroyed. So let's mine all these diamonds. We'll make some armor, then these tools. And now let's get back to mining the rest of the roof. And just to speed things up with the power of editing, bam! This is all mined out now. Anyways, now we can finally get to mining the paths. First off, let's make the outline for it. And actually, I have an idea. How about the entrances are shaped like an emerald? Pretty smart, right? And we'll do that same thing for all the other sides. So anyways, now let's get to mining this. Now mine out this one. And there, now we finally finished this. So, but again, we still have to mine because right here is where the villagers are going to be, and there's going to be a ton of them. And basically what I want is 4 villagers for each of these pathways, like weaponsmith right here, blacksmith right here, farmer, brewer. It'll be huge. And now that we've completely finished this side, we'll now do this side too. And now we mined this whole part out. It's like mining that whole circle 2 times. It's so much mining. But we still have so much more. We still have this one and this one go. So alright, now just these last few blocks. 3, 2, 1, and we're done mining. This took a long time, but thankfully now we can start building. First off, before we do any of that, let's go up and get all the blocks to bring down here. Alright, now let's get to building. Alright, now that we place all these stone blocks, we're now going to build a tree. First off, I made a little base right in the middle of the hub. Alright, now let's first place some dirt down. Now place all the lots. So add some oak fences to sort of make it look like there's limbs on the tree. Alright, yeah, that looks way better. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, now that we've gotten this tree done with, let's now make the walls. Let's first build it right here, I think. Now some stone brick stairs. Some redstone lamps here as well. how does this look? It could work. So yeah, that looks good. Let's make this, but for the rest of this. Okay, now just a few more blocks, and there. Now we're done with the wall. To be honest, it looks pretty good. Now we'll smooth it out to the floor. All right, now done this part right here. Now finally, the last thing we need to do is add a roof. Alright, now that we've done all that, we can actually finally start building the villager trading hall. So let's first make the floor. Not gonna lie, this design looks pretty good. Man, I'm becoming so creative. I'm like Albert Einstein. Right, now just a few more blocks. And there, now we're done with the floor. Now, next thing we do is a roof. Alright, now we're done the roof. Now we'll do it for the other side. So, bam and bam. Next, we'll place the spruce stone slabs. And lastly, the final thing before we make the place where the village will stay is we'll add a wall right here. Like I said before, I want 4 different types of villagers for each side. So let's get to making this wall. We'll also do it for these walls as well. Then the last thing we'll do is the last wall. Wait, what the heck? This is zombie librarian full enchanted iron armor. Nice. Okay, we'll just bring him in here until we can cure him. Sorry, dude, you're just gonna have to wait. Anyways, now we're done with this. We'll do the roof. And there, now we're finally done. Now we can get back to building the villagers' places. First off, the first place where we'll build is right here, and it'll be the farmer villager. So, first things first, let's place a lot of dirt down. Now we have all the dirt placed. Let's first add the farmhouse. We'll first use some oak wood for this. And for the entrances, we'll add some stone stairs right here. Now we'll add some windows. And nice, already come together. And then next thing we'll do is add a roof. And we'll add a little fence right here where they'll keep all the animals. And we'll add a little overhang right here. Finally, we'll add some indoor stuff. And next, we'll have a little river. We're done with the river. We'll now add the crop, all the cows, and the plants will be. Anyways, let's start making the crops. Then finally, for this area right here, we'll have some cows and sheep. And there, now we have them here. Add some foliage like this. And now that we're done with the farmers, the next one we'll do is the shepherd. So again, let's place a ton of dirt down. Alright, now that we've done the floor, next thing we'll do is build the house. And there, alright, nice. Kind of looks like a little shack. Perfect. Now that we've done all this, let's now add a doorway right here. Now that we're done with that, let's add the interior. First off, let's add a few barrels. We'll also just add some wool that the house is done with. Let's now add the place where all the sheep will be, which will be right here. And a few seeds for the sheep to eat. And the last thing we need to do is just get some sheep. And there, now we have the sheep in. Now that we're done with that, the next thing we'll do is the Fletcher. Let's make the Fletcher house right here, I think. And basically what this house is going to be is like an improved Fletcher house. You'll see in a bit. Now let's add the roof to this, and just like how they have in the villages, we'll yellow and white banners. Now that we're done with this main house, now we can build the shooting range. So let's make a little shooting area right here. Now we'll add the place where you shoot. Before that, let's first make a little path, and we'll actually start building the aiming area. Now let's add the target blocks, and then a redstone lamp, because this isn't going to be any normal archery. This one's going to be redstone powered, so you know it's going to be good. And now you can train your aiming like this. Alright, nice. Now that we're done with that, the last place right here should be for the leather worker. So let's get to building. Now we'll make the horse stables. We'll start building the leather farm right here. First, place some chests down, and then we'll have some hoppers. Then we'll add some glass pane here so that you can view what's happening. And these dispensers will dispense the items into the hoppers, which will go to the chests. And basically what happens is these two buckets right here will release lava, and this one will release water. Now make the roof to the leather farm. And some brown banners to make it look like leather. And again, let's go back up and get some cows and horses. first put the horse in the stable right here. Let's bring the cows in. Okay, nice. Got one. Come on, just get in there. Okay, perfect. Now just one more. And there, they're all in. Perfect. And basically what happens when we press this, cows will rise up so that we're able to feed them. And then when it comes time to trade, we just press this and they'll all die. Then finally we'll add the last thing, which will be a horse stable. There, perfect. Now it's done. All right, now that we've done this area right here, so next we'll go to this side, and right here is going to be the butcher's place. Now let's make the pillars of the house. All right, now that we've done the main frame, we'll now build the walls. First off, we'll make these walls out of stone, and then for the roof, we'll make steep slate. Now let's add the gate. While the animals will be kept, we'll add some finishing touches. All right, now that we've done the outside, add some decorations inside here. And the first thing we'll do is add a chicken farm. First, add dispenser and a few hoppers. Put this lava right here. Hopefully it doesn't burn down the house. So let's hurry and get some chickens, then bring them in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there. Now it's working. And then the last thing we should add is this right here. It now kind of looks like some meat cooking over fire. Perfect. And there, now we're done with the butcher's place. Now that we're done that, we can start building where the fisherman will be. It's going to be the fisherman's house. And we'll have like a full pond right here. Now let's start building the floor right here. Now let's add the roof. Now we'll start adding the second floor. Then that's right here, we'll have a little canopy to give a little bit of shade, even though we're underground. Now that the house is done, the last thing we'll do is fill up the pond. And there, now it's all filled in. Now that's all done, let's go add some fish. And lastly, just add a bit of bone meal, and we're done. Now the next thing we'll do is the mason. So this mason, I'm sort of making a little mine right here. So, bam! Now let's start building. First off, before we do anything, let's first make the drill right here. Add the crane part, then let's finally add the part that's going to drill. There, now the drill is done. So let's place a gate around it so both me or the villagers don't fall in. Now that that's all mined out, we'll place all these logs. Next, wide staircase going to the bottom, and it's done. Looks pretty good. So let's then add the last villager for this section, which will be the brewer. But first off, let's build a floor. Alright, now that we're done the inside, we'll start building the interior. So let's first place a bit of spruce right here. Next, we'll place some note blocks right here. Then we'll place some item frames with oak signs. And now it kind of looks like some cabinets. Next, we'll place some coal right here, which will be a TV in a bit. And then next, what we'll do right here is add some beds, because it kind of look like beer. And put some water bottles here to sort of look like wine or something. Then to make it really look like TV, we'll add this painting. Let's put some paintings right here. Just put a bunch of barrels right here and place a few brewing stands. Easily do the same thing right here on the other side. All right, now that we've done that, let's now place this right here where the villagers will be kept. And then right here, we'll place some trap doors down to sort of be like little seats. Then the last thing we'll do is add some seats. And there, now the pub is finished. Now the last thing we need to do, all right, now that that's done, we just have this to do, then we'll finally be done. For that, let's go get some villagers so we can fill all this, so that we can fill all these places up. So let's try to find some villagers, which thankfully won't take that long because right by the base is a village. So let's get them into these minecarts. Now that we have them there, let's just bring them all the way back to base. Oh Lord, it's gonna take forever. And there, now we finally have a castle. This took so long. All right, now that we're done, let's go in and build the rest of the villager houses. First off, let's build a cartographer. So let's first place all the blocks down. And I'm also going to make a circle in the middle of this where there's going to be a huge map. First, let's make the outline to it, and we'll finally add some oak logs. All right, now that that's all mined out, let's place some smooth stone, and we'll start building. The place where the villager should be right here. All right, now that we have that done with, let's now add some decorations. Now we'll finally add some bookshelves right here. Now that that's all done, we'll now map this all out. This is going to take a while. First off, let's go make some maps. Now that we have all the maps, let's start walking a ton. We're definitely going to get our steps in, so let's get to it. Now let's head back. All right, now let's place some maps down. All right, there. Now that we have all those maps done with, let's now map out even more. And there. You do not want to know how long this took. But now this is finally completed. So for this side will be the librarian. So let's get to the building. Then we'll add some spruce right by where the bookshelves will be. We'll also start placing down a ton of bookshelves. All right, now that we have this first floor complete, now we'll build the second floor. So let's just place a ton of slabs down right here. We've done all of this. Let's now add some more bookshelves. Dude, while doing this, I just noticed that book right there kind of looked like Among Us. Oh, I hate that, and I can't stop noticing that. Anyways, next let's add some oak stairs right here. And finally, let's add some diorite right here. Then next, what we're going to do is first place a ton of blue stained glass down. Now that we all have the glass in, I'll try to start making my face. Let's first add some black stained glass right here for my eyes. Now we've added my face, we'll now add some more glass to make it look a bit more darker. And then lastly, we'll add some carpet. It has a weird kind of depth to it, but yeah, I guess it looks fine. All right, now that we're done that, we'll start building the places where the villagers will be, which will be right here first. Let's first add the laws, which will be right here. Now add some more fences right here. And then we'll add sort of sunroof right here. And now that's done, it's going to have all the different types of villagers. Perfect. Then the very last thing we'll do is add some finishing details. And there, now it's done. Now we're done with the library. The next villager we will do is a weaponsmith. First, let's place down some polished deep slate. Alright, now that the floor is placed down, let's now do the ceiling. Then lastly, we'll build the walls. And on each side of the wall, we'll add some stands where the villagers will be. And then right here, we'll add some pickaxes. And this adds right here. And then in the middle right here, we're going to have this sort of little table. And then lastly, let's build the furnace. All right, perfect. That looks nice. And then the last thing we'll do is grab a bit of this lava right here. Since, of course, this is a blacksmith, there's, of course, going to be a ton of lava. And there, now it's done. To be honest, it looks pretty sick. Now that the armor smith and toolsmith's done with, the last thing we need to do is the weaponsmith. And now I'm starting making the floor. Kind of going for a dojo look here. Then in the middle, we're going to have a fighting area. And there, now we place all laws. Next, we'll do the roof, which I really hope I don't mess up. All right, now they're at the top. Let's now add some spruce logs around here. And then finally, we'll add a gold block right here. Perfect. And there, now the roof is done. Oh yeah, that definitely looks good. Definitely feeling that sort of dojo vibe. Then now let's add a few details around here. Like rest some dust down. It sort of look like a bit of blood. The swords are definitely going to cause some damage. And this right here will basically be like a little place where you can shoot your arrows. Then right here, we'll have a few dummies, then punching bags, then finally scatter eyes around, then some workout machines, then of course build a villager hut, and there, yeah, it looks pretty nice. Next, we'll change this wall to be stone bricks, and there, now we have them all placed out. The last thing I want to do is right here, build a little villager zombie converter, since these trays can get pretty expensive. So let's first mine this out right here. Now we'll place some hoppers, which will go to this chest right here. And basically what we'll do is when we press this button, this dropper will release a potion of healing. Then we'll add some powered rails right above here. And right here where we place this rail, we'll now add some glass where we can observe it all. And yeah, now it's done. Next thing we need to do now is somehow connect all these villagers all the way over there. So let's start connecting these rails all the way over there. And now that we've done that, we'll now connect it to here. So basically what will happen is we'll bring a villager in here, and they should get in this minecart. Then when we turn it on, and they should be able to just go all the way down. All right, nice, worked perfectly. So let's do this for the other sides. And there. All right, now that we've done that, we're basically done. And finally move these villagers in. So let's get to it. First off, let's get the farmer. Okay, perfect, nice. And that's shepherd, then butcher, fletcher, fisherman, mason, librarian, cartographer, toolsmith, and armorsmith. And there. Now the build is finally complete. And not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool. So thank you for watching all the way through. Hit the like and subscribe button, and goodbye. See you later.